For updates on sports across the globe, Aaron Akirijola joins us. Good morning, Aaron.
Yeah, good morning to you, Ayo. Good morning to you, Rufai. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Chelsea is doing well. I'm surprised, though.
We'll get to that in a moment. But let's talk about Manchester United. That's
not doing well.
That are just completely off the radar, completely. Of course, losing yesterday 3-0 to Tottenham Hotspur, and at the moment, pressure being piled on Erik ten Hag and his position as manager after that particular loss. It was a devastating loss. Manchester United were out of sorts completely in that particular game. Of course, they would narrow it down to the red card that Bruno Fernandes actually had in the 42nd minute, but that did not change the plot. They were going to lose the game already. They were losing the game before that red card actually came in. But moving away from Manchester United now, you mentioned Chelsea. But one man, Cole Palmer, the cold one, as they call him right now, he's the man in form, on fire. The man to have done something quite remarkable in the Premier League history, being the very first person to score 4 goals in the first half of a game. And this man just keeps turning heads with goals and assists, contributions, and his ability to be able to strike from different positions, from different ranges, the style of goal. The guy, he's just phenomenal, I must say. He's irresistible. And you can actually see it there. Hat-tricks for Chelsea. You have the likes of Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Frank Lampard, and not forgetting Didier Drogba. And he can actually count it. He too has gotten his name on that particular enviable list. 3 hat-tricks right now for Chelsea.
Thank
yes,
you,
the cold one. The cold one.
Thank you for rejecting the Man
But
City.
in the meantime, quickly, Real Madrid actually suffered a blip in their opportunity to close down the gap between themselves and their rivals Barcelona as they were held to a 1-1 draw at the Wanda Metropolitano yesterday. 1-0 was how we actually ended. Real Madrid thought they had won it before Angel Correa, late into the game, scored what will be a decisive equalizer in that particular one. And in Turkey, Victor Osimhen finally got the monkey off his back as he netted 2 goals and celebrated heavily. I'm really happy for him. With this particular goal was top of the bunch for him. Victor Osimhen just showing his marksmanship once again. But the question now is this: he actually was hobbled off later on, and there are fears that he might not play for club and country for the next coming weeks. We'll find out more about the extent of his injury today. And finally, let's come into today. There's been talks, and it's been unanimous. Like I was saying before this time around, when you look at this day this morning, Guardian this morning, almost all the newspapers are unanimous about this particular story I'm about to actually reel out, and that has to do with the change of guard in the Nigeria Football Federation. We know that the AGA, the annual general meeting of the Nigeria Football Federation, will be happening this weekend. And people are opposing the fact that because there are reports out there, confirmed reports, that Dr. Muhammad Sanusi wants to be returned for the 3rd time as General Secretary, or rather the CEO of Nigerian football, because he heads the secretariat and he calls the shot as it is, and he's the major liaison officer between himself, the Nigeria Football Federation, CAF, and FIFA. And people are asking, they haven't spent 10 years. Why do you want to still continue? And if we can actually press it further, of course, a friend of my journal, a colleague of mine has actually tweeted something yesterday that I actually picked up on concerning this particular issue. It says, outrageous, NFL's attempt to extend Muhammad Sanusi's tenure as General Secretary after 9 years of service is travesty. Earning $10,000 monthly despite incompetence is a disservice to Nigeria. Silvanus Ofeko there tweeting that particular one. But we decided to dig in deeper and try to expand this particular issue quickly. If they can actually help us with all the first graphics there, and you look at how things are actually playing out. Of course, like we mentioned, the AGO will be going on this Friday in Asaba. That has been established, and the governors of Nigerian football is the dominant, will actually dominate proceedings at the Congress as they seek to appoint another CEO. But there are talks that Dr. Muhammad Sanusi will continue. According to Article 63.2 of the NFL Statute, explicitly states that the qualification and appointment process for General Secretary emphasizing the need for professional qualification and adherence to private law agreement. Pressing it further, looking at how things, people have questioned his time as the General Secretary of the Nigeria Football Federation. He's been there for about 10 years, and people have said they've witnessed a huge decline in Nigerian football. And for the first time, we are seeing cadre teams in Nigeria failing to qualify, and hence hemorrhaging that conveyor belt that has always been producing the likes of Victor Osimhen, Kelechi Iheanacho over the years. And also, people have questioned that while they are claiming that there is paucity of funds within the ranks of the Nigeria Football Federation, one man has been earning $10,000 for years on ending. Right now, when you look at the valuation, it is about 17 million naira every month. Moving away from that quickly, before I open the floor to you quickly. Now, of course, accusations have been labeled against how skilled professionals have been tactically eased out, and they've brought in their own friends to be able to marshal things in the Nigeria Football Federation. And more importantly, what has become a show of shame has been the misappropriation of Nigerian national team merchandise. Rufai, as it stands right now, Nike does not send the players' kits to the federation. They send it to the individual players. Their boots are sent to the individual players because they are not sure that the Nigeria Football Federation will disburse those kits. Age jerseys, their home jerseys, their home kits, their boots, and every other thing is sent directly to the players. At the Australian World Cup, there were talks between the Nigeria Football Federation and FIFA because merchandises that were meant for the players, all players that were there were sporting the merchandise, but the Nigeria Football Federation and the national team did not spot it because someone had carted away with those merchandise down to Nigeria. Nigeria's own should not always be different. And hence, this clarion call has been made.
You see, the truth is, we can only make the clarion call. But you can see that corruption is everywhere. That's why our sport never thrives. It's not only even merchandise case in football. Look at the merchandise case in athletics. See how this country became a show of shame. So this place now is now paddy. People must ensure they get themselves into it. The same Nigerian Football Association that when the likes of them Father Slattery was building the foundation for sports in this country with the St. Finbar's College and the likes. These ones were not there. Today now, because Nigerian sports thrives, football thrives, they want to open it as their own workshop where they eat and eat and eat. And they destroy. Look at the shame that is going on. Today now, I thought they said they were bringing Labadia back before. Today, all of a sudden, now it's not Iguavon again. We have gone round in circles. So our football is a joke. And that's why you see, I said, as we are celebrating 60 years anniversary, I think this should also be included in the 64 years. This should also be included in the documentary for sports. That's why we say the leg has arthritis in Nigeria. The hands has broken hands. The eyes have glaucoma vision, brain, Alzheimer's, everything scattered because of the people, the leadership. Why is this person always wanting to be there at the expense of others? A country that is bleeding, you are earning $10,000, 17 billion naira. And we don't see any effectiveness. And this one was just, thank God to Silvanus. If this one was not revealed, now do you know how many years he's been doing it non-stop? We are a joke in this country. We are a joke. And we just hope they listen. NFF is corrupt. Athletics corrupt. That's why the other day when the minister was trying to defend himself for the failure in the Olympics, I just looked at him and laughed. We're a joke.
All right. Well, it's the value system that Professor Patotomi had talked about yesterday that's still eroded, even in the sports industry in Nigeria. As long as we have, as long as it's Nigerians, where the value system is eroded, whatever system, industry would find this kind of corruption, which is quite sad. Because, as was rightly said, if we saw the impact, perhaps, of his tenure so far, maybe that would be a justification for why, wanting to renew his contract. But we have complained a number of times about this, so it doesn't make any sense. It's not justifiable, justified in terms of the emolument. It's not justified in terms of performance. So what is the justification for this? Absolutely doesn't make any sense.
True.
But let me say some good news about sports, because while some places are not working, others are. Cricket, I know it's not a sport that we talk about a lot, but the women under 19 have qualified for Malaysia 2025. So congratulations to them, and they'll be going on to that. And so congratulations to them. For Manchester United, I don't know why Eric Ten Hag is. I know he's a cat with 9 lives. Let's see just how long he will last in that position.
Okay, on Dr. Muhammad Sanusi, the General Secretary of the NFF, I take my cue from the statement made by a gentleman who is the spokesperson for the movement for the advancement of Nigerian football. I think his name is Olayiwola Akonde. And he made a case in a brilliant manner. One, that Dr. Sanusi has been in charge of the NFF as General Secretary since 2007.
Okay, he was assistant then.
When he was engaged as a contract staff.
Okay, yes.
Later, he was promoted Director of Competition.
Yes, he was.
And then in 2014 or so, under Amaju Pinnick, he became the General Secretary. And his position has been renewed every 3 years since then. So cumulatively, since 2014, he has spent additional 10 years in terms of his contract. And the argument of movement for the advancement of football in Nigeria is that under his watch, football has not moved forward. So in terms of performance and competence, Olayinka Akonde says this man should go. 2, in the statement that I think I read, he was saying also that he has violated the rules, the NFF rules, in terms of how you engage people on contract. Number 3, there is also a violation of the federal government public service rule with regard to contracts. So there's also a legal ground in this regard. And now, you know, this is the seat-tight syndrome that we accuse politicians of. What is in that position of General Secretary that, you know, Dr. Sanusi Mohammed thinks that he's the only chosen anointed man from a planet wherever that can run football? The major point that those who are calling for the advancement of football are saying is that they need new energy. They need change. They need, you know, new dynamism in the management of football in Nigeria. And I think they have a point, you know, in that regard. Amaju Pinnick, that put him there as General Secretary, left long ago and moved on to other things. I'm sure that there must be other things that Dr. Sanusi can do with his talent. But the strongest point is about, you know, the thing should go round, because I think Akonde was making the point also about federal character, that they are not even sure whether this man is from Kebbi or is from Ogbomoso, you know, about nationality and all of that. So I think these are issues that the Congress, the NFF Congress, should determine at their meeting in Asaba on October 4. But beyond that, the major interest should be the interest of football in Nigeria.
True.
Proper management, putting the house of football in order, not about personal ambition and greed of individuals in the house of football. Going beyond that, let me talk very quickly about Eric Ten Hag. He has guts, doesn't he? After Tottenham Sports, you know, defeated his team yesterday 3-0, he had the guts to come and say, give me more time. How much more time does he want?
No, he's taking a cue from Nigeria.
Finally, Martinez, the Argentine goalkeeper, has been suspended for 2 matches because of, you know, poor behavior by FIFA. And also, I hear that Anthony Joshua has been suspended for 28 days for losing, you know, a game, technical knockout to Daniel Dubois. But, you know,
it's on medical grounds.
It will not affect him.
Yeah, it's on medical grounds. So
they say it's standard procedure.
Yes, procedure, yes.
Yeah, and he's not even disturbed about that. He says the fight continues.
Doctor, when you have 200 million pounds in the bank, you will be less worried about some things.
Anyway, thank you very much.